Hello, America. Dave Hodges here. I'm the host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. We are brought to you by the three pack, as I call it. These are lifesavers. They were for me. I'm doing a promotion for the company now because of my results. This brought me back from death's doorstep. It boosts your immune system to unbelievable levels. You can read all about it at iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. Once you start working out, get back in shape because this allows you to do so. This takes care of joint inflammation, arthritis. It did for me. I'm doing things I haven't done in 26 years. Fine lines and wrinkles disappear with the skin cream, good for cuts and abrasions. Together, the three of them are 15% off. Go to iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. Let's speak to you frankly here. And some people don't like it when I say either side of this issue. If someone is a criminal and they've committed crimes like aggravated assault, assault on a police officer, murder, manslaughter, carjacking, armed robbery, they need to be in prison for a long time for the safety of the public, if nothing else. When those people are illegal aliens, they should be deported. If we're going to have judges that interfere in that process outside their jurisdictional authority, then they need to put in prison the same as American citizens. Yeah, it bothers me that there are some politicians in this country that could care less about the safety of the general public. And I'm making this point clear. Now, I've said this and people get pissed. I'll just take you back in history. In the 1830s, the absolute worst part of the Jackson administration, and there were many high points, was when he forcibly relocated Native American tribes to Oklahoma, where they got shafted again. Another story, another time. But the Trail of Tears was the name. Mass deportation off rightfully owned land. And this follows him today. Now, he took on corrupt bankers out of Europe. He survived an assassination attempt over it. You can go on and on and on about the good things he did. And he did. However, this was a dark stain. When we go and pluck people who are not criminals, who've been here for years, and they came under the idea, well, I'll give you an example. Biden was telling people, come one, come all. We want you. They were, in the early days, do you remember they were wearing Biden t-shirts? What were these people supposed to believe? And I think these people need to be handled much differently with a different outcome than the criminals. The criminals, out of here or in prison, one or the other. And I think Trump just needs to build massive detention facilities. And if the courts are going to block him making the streets safer for everybody, and this goes for citizens and non-citizens alike, you need to be confined if you're a danger to the public, if you're convicted of a serious crime. And I don't know why people have a problem with that, other than they're making political points somewhere. All right, having said that, let me give you an example where we need to take action, and it's against the cartel. And the cartel, they have no rights. None. Zero. When you're a member of a transnational criminal organization and you're victimizing citizens in this country and even non-citizens, sometimes non-citizens are bigger victims of everybody. But these people need to go. And there's another crime. We've covered a lot of the things they're doing. They've entered the timeshare business, the CJNG, and we've documented the ripoffs of American elderly. They've entered into the avocado business. They've entered into timber, gas. Some of the gas you're putting in your tank is stolen by the CJNG, siphoned off Pemex gas lines. And that's no secret. This has even been adjudicated in Mexico. And my heart goes out to Pemex. They're not willingly doing this. I used to have a source in Pemex. Stories he told me about the Chinese interference in their companies, legendary. The DEA officials that I know have told me the same thing. Now, Let's talk about the latest thing that the cartel are into. And we need a cartel crackdown. And these people, beyond human rights and jurisdictional principles of protecting liberties. In other words, you just can't say you're guilty and then take action against them. You have to adjudicate them. Although you don't need a hearing to deport criminals. That's just amazing to me. I've looked at the law. But anyway, let's talk about the latest intrusion. If you're in a border city, and I don't know that this is confined to borders, but along the border in Arizona and big time in San Diego, El Paso, Brownsville, you have these food carts. And I really hesitated to do this report because out where I live in rural northern Maricopa County, when I turn off on my road from the main expressway and make my way to my home in a rural area, there are a couple of food carts. I've eaten there, and these guys are Americans. They're operating legally. They engage in good sanitation practices. You're not going to get food poisoning because you buy something from them. Now, I think the prices are restaurant level. I don't think you save any money by buying from them, but you do have the convenience. I don't want to cook dinner tonight. No, there they are. I don't have a problem with that. And it's kind of funny because they've been persecuted by county authorities. No, you can't be here. You can't set up there. You can't be there. And the county doesn't even maintain our roads worth of crap. Yet they're really, really diligent about going after these people. I don't understand that at all. Um, some of the guys I've talked to that do this work are first generation, and they're working their butt off to make a difference, trying to provide their kids with future opportunities. I admire that. I come from an immigrant family on my dad's side. Now, having said that, some of these food carts are having a very detrimental effect. Not the ones in my area, but the ones in metropolitan areas. They'll set up in front of a place and they'll siphon customers off from the bar or restaurant menu. They'll undersell maybe by 50 cents or $1 an item. But then the reports that we're getting, um, Save San Diego's one that I was reading, uncovered food, non-refrigerated hot dogs being sold. The it's hepatitis on a plate with a side order of E. coli. And that was a phrase that was used in some of the investigative reports. The San Diego media actually has a hold of it. But unfortunately, governors like Gavin Newsom and Katie Hobbs in Arizona, where I live, they're just fine with this. No regulation. They don't send out the health people. It's absolutely incredible what they're getting away with. And they're driving some businesses out of business by slightly underselling. And then they are endangering public health. And they like to set up at the bars, in the bar restaurants at around closing time. So someone walks out of a bar 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and they've been drinking. Their judgment's kind of impaired. And then they eat the crap and go home and they don't know what made them sick, the alcohol or the food. But either way, it's a nuisance. It's cartel infested. And a lot of money laundering is going on with this as well. And I took this to some law enforcement figures. And I asked them, I said, I imagine money laundering is big. And they go, absolutely. They over-report income by as much as 1,000% in some of the cases they busted. That's pretty big for a small food cart. Now, here's what I don't want to promote. Some of the food carts completely legitimate. You get really good food, and sometimes you get a good deal. You get the convenience. And then I like supporting individual entrepreneurs more than I do the big corporate box stores. But I think you need to do due diligence and you need to look at their food preparation methods before you order anything. Just stand there off to the side and look at how they conduct it. You got uncovered food, walk the other way. But what really bothers me is there's no food licensing for a lot of these people because in places like California, ollie ollie oxen free, no regulations, no restrictions, and the public suffers. I have a real problem with that. And the reason that these entities exist is because of lax enforcement from authorities for various political reasons. That's about as politically correct as I can say it. So exercise due diligence, be cautious, and sign up for our newsletter. How do you do that? Well, you go to thecommonsenseshow.com, click on the newsletter link, and put in your email. We do not sell your data. We will never do that. And you'll get a recapitulation of everything we've done in the last 24 hours. And over 50,000 people are taking advantage of this. You should too. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here again next time.